2000 Nissan Maxima 3.0 V6. My buddy JJ made it into a race car, and he actually won the race last weekend in Mountain Home, Idaho. So, what we have issue with this one is a crank no start randomly. Long story short, we checked the power fuses and relays, everything. All that stuff's good, right? So what we're on to is a crank signal issue, we believe. So what you're looking at here for the schematic, there's 3 wires, so it's like a Hall effect sensor. This 4th wire is your shielded ground. Got 12 volts that comes in, powers it up, you got your ground, and then your signal wire for your position is your white wire. Looks like it's 0 to 5 volts square wave roughly. So let me get my leads hooked up first. All right, so right now I'm probed on the red and green, which would be our 12 volt wire. Flashlight just died. Nope, I hit the button. So JJ's gonna go turn key on engine off while I watch the scope on a 20 volt scale. Yeah, I went to 12 volts. Just crank it for the hell of it. Okay, stop. You turn the key off. So you can see our 12 volts there, some hash from interference. Don't care about that right now. And you can hear it was a crank, no start. All right, now I'm on the black, which is our ground wire. Key on engine off. So we have no voltage spike there. We got a good ground. Just crank for the hell of it. Stop. So we got some hash in the ground. Don't care about that. The other wire, the shield wire, I don't care about right now. But what I'm going to go to is the white wire and look at that next. All right, I'm on the white wire, which is our position wire. Right there. Your crank sensors, well, down by the tip of the flasher, right there's our crank sensor. Key on engine off. So it looked like it went to 5 boats. All right, go ahead and crank it over. Stop. So if you look here, back up on the film. So right there, that last slide was a good square wave. But before that, look at all that hash in there. And they're not actually square. I think that's what our issue is. Now we do have an RPM tack signal in the car. Must be enough for that, but this doesn't look right. Now look at that at all. One more time. Right? Yep. Stop. So you heard it trying to start there. So right there, it wasn't running. Well, it didn't run yet, but real hashy. You back up. Let's start at the very end. Okay, nasty, 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 nasty. Little better there. Little better there. And that's where I was trying to start at. Was in here, because it's actually more square. You could hear it. It didn't start, but it got, and it's hashy, hashy, hashy. So it tried to start. Let's try it one more time there, Sonny. Yes. Are we going to try it one more time there? Started there. Stop. So when he lets off, he's got a really good square wave. But when he's cranking, he doesn't. All right, so we got it running. Now look at the scope. It's perfectly clean. They're all even because what sends it is the cam signal. I believe there's an odd one in there. That's how it syncs it. But look, night and day difference. 0 to 5 volts, real clear. It was real crappy, and then it got cleared up. All right, so I put it on a 1-second division, millisecond division. It's good. I didn't capture in the little video a little bit earlier, but it was all crappy, which you saw earlier in the video, and then it got better, and then it ran. Now it runs great. JJ's gonna go ahead and wiggle the harness down there and the wires. Go ahead. Wiggling. Wiggle it pretty good. Tap on the sensor. Alright. Alright, go ahead and shut it off. So what I'm doing now is I'm scoping down there just with my Phil's probe. Doesn't matter if I do it down there or up here. Go ahead and crank it again. Looks like crap again. So it looks like absolute crap again. I wonder if we have an interference issue while we're cranking. It's throwing it off so it won't start, but once it runs, we're not cranking and then it's good. Do it again. Stop. Yeah, because look, that is complete hash. But when it runs, it's good. And it took a while for it. Once it ran, go ahead. Stop. So it'll get real crappy right there. And once it gets better, it'll fire enough. And once it fires and it's good, then it runs fine. I wonder if we have an interference issue with this. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we got key and engine off. We got the Hall effect sensor out. JJ's gonna go in front of it fast and wave it like that. He's gonna make a square wave. Okay, go. Keep going. So he's making a square wave there. Go faster. Okay, hang on. Let me get a separate, there you go. Whatever you're doing, that looks good. So, he's making a square wave, which tells us that the sensor is probably good. And I don't think, there's not an issue with the wheel inside there because it's either mechanically good or bad. So I honestly think we have an interference issue. And I know I said earlier in the video that I didn't care about the shielded ground, but I wonder if that's what's picking up noise. And that's why it won't start. And once it does start, we're not cranking it no more. Like, I bet you if a guy was to push this car in a manual and pull it, it would start. Because you're not using the starter. It would start up with no interference. So we need to check the shielded ground and go from there. All right, so I pulled back the wires. Here's, I'll show you in a minute, but there is a shielded ground. But go ahead and key on engine off, which it is. Just crank it. Stop. You got to change the scope. And I think that's why you hear that hard hit, because it's getting an incorrect reading on your crank signal. It's trying to give it feel when it shouldn't be. Well, I don't think it's getting any spark or feel or something, right? That's what we're having issues with. Go again. Okay, stop. You can see our film, it's pretty dirty there. So I'm going to take this shielded ground, which is this wire here on the tip of my thumb, and I'm going to take it to battery ground or chassis ground. I'm not saying that's a bad ground, but I just want to eliminate that and then, go from there. Alrighty, so I'm grounding this shielded ground to battery ground and chassis ground, and it's not changing anything. So we have another issue. Go ahead and do it again. Crank. Stop. So right there you can see, as soon as he lets off the starter and the engine is still rotating, the square wave cleans up. He's on the starter, it looks like crap. When it runs, it looks good. On the starter, it looks like crap. When he lets off, the square wave is perfect. We've got to be getting interference in there. We just got to find out where it is at. All right, so what we're doing now is we're going to prove it. We already did it once. I didn't get it on camera. We're taking a forklift here, and I got key on engine off. Put it in second gear. We're going to push it, and I'm going to let the clutch out, and it started up. Took a little bit because there's fuel was loaded up in it. We'll try it again here with JJ in the forklift. Go! We're going to try it here.
Say when.
Go.
Is that a thumb?
Yep. Gotta go a little faster. Faster. Had to let the clutch out at the right time. Runs like a rape tape now. So yeah, I had to let the clutch out in second gear. Should have started in a lower gear, I suppose. But it worked. That's the second time, the first time I catching the footage. And we have no interference when we're doing that because we're not using the starter. So we got interference with the circuit, whether it's a body ground or chassis ground or something. All right, so I shut it off again. Forklift's over there. Crank, no start. Do the forklift one more time. So key on, engine off. Second gear. Here we go. Go. Started right up. Hell yeah. Had to let the, so we're good there. We got a rock in the rotor. No forklift behind us.
So what is
all right?
Once in a while,
So
jump you down?
That's just interference.
Okay.
That's not bad. We got it running. You've seen us run it with the forklift. We're scoping it again. Square wave is perfect. No hash. So we obviously have an issue when we're starting it. We got to look at some grounds. It's with the starter circuit we're having issues with. Whether it's a chassis or body ground, we need to check over grounds and see if that's what's causing this issue. This may be the end of this video, or there may be a part 2. I'm not sure yet, and we'll go from there.